Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, September the 28th, 2022. Wednesday, September 8th, 2022. Today was a so-so day. I mean, it was pretty good. It moved along. First, we have Victoria ranting, going to the chancellor offices, Chancellor Hamilton offices, ranting and raving about Chelsea. Of course, she's rightfully upset, but Billy's upset too. And it's like he told her, look, I'm upset too. I want our boy to be okay, but I don't want us to go overboard because Victoria's really talking about united front against Chelsea, shutting her out and blah, and the whole 9 yards. And what Billy said is, look, Vic, we have to think about why did we tell him? Why did we tell him? Because we didn't want someone else to tell him. That still holds true. We're going to just have to work with him to get him where he wants to be. You know, yeah, not work with him because she goes, yeah, but Chelsea wants us to do a united front to nudge Johnny. There'll be no nudging. And Billy's like, no, I agree. It is Johnny's choice. But we are not going to like lock Chelsea out of his life. If in fact he does decide he wants her in his life, then we'll want to get to know her, want more answers. We're going to be open to that. And actually, Billy offered a great suggestion. He goes, maybe we should go to family counseling. Maybe we should go to, you know, and Victoria didn't disagree, but they didn't decide, yes, that's what we're going to do. But that was very mature of Billy to put that out there. I was actually very impressed, but we did spend a lot of time of Victoria throwing stones pretty much. You know how Victoria gets when she doesn't know what to do. She blames everyone and she's blaming. Okay. So, then we have scenes where Nick and Sally are eating at Society. I don't even want to talk about what they did not talk about. We have Adam convincing Chelsea. He met her at the coffee house and he convinced her to come and have dinner with him. He says, I'm tired of eating at the bar. Let's just have dinner. We could just talk about Johnny. And Chelsea's talking about what a bad day she had. And, and so they do go to Society and they do sit there. And of course, they see Nick and Sally, and Adam is like, wow, there you have it. Sally was more interested looking over there at him and Chelsea most of the time. And Nick is like, you want to go somewhere else? No, I don't. I moved on. Yes, let's talk about work. Let's talk about work because we're not going to talk about, anything personal amongst us. We're not going to talk about anything like that. Well, what do you think they're talking about over there? They look pretty cozy to you, right? Do you think they're getting back together again? I mean, could Adam really be over me? All that part I made up, everybody. That part didn't happen, but all the continued stares at Adam and Chelsea, and Adam would look at her, and then if he would glance at her, she'd look back at Nick. It was just ridiculous. It was 100% ridiculous. So Chelsea, he goes, Chelsea, this is Adam to Chelsea. Chelsea, something is clearly bothering you. What is it? And she finally tells him, and he goes, they told Johnny what? Well, that's huge. And why didn't you tell me that this was going to happen? This affects Connor. And so she goes, well, because he goes, whose idea was that? Why would they want to do that now? And Chelsea's like, it was my idea. It was my idea because, we don't want Johnny blindsided later. And Adam's like, why didn't you give me a heads up? And she goes, well, they just agreed. I didn't know they were going to tell him today, and it didn't go well. And blah, blah, blah. So needless to say, Adam, he's just like, look, Chelsea, whatever that situation is going to be, it's going to be. You're a great mother. You're a great mother to Connor. Let's focus on that. Being a great mother to Connor. Adam can bring Chelsea down, but she still goes off on a tangent. And she admitted herself. She goes, I get things, ideas fixed in my head that's right for me, that's what I need in my life. And and then it ends up turning out to be all wrong. It ends up turning out to be, I made the wrong decision, or things don't go my way. When are things going to finally go my way? And it's like, oh my goodness, woman, can you not be a productive person in society? When are things going to go your way? You're a talented designer and you threw that away. You owned a penthouse. Yes, you didn't want the memories of when you lived there with Adam, but you're living in a hotel, which is sucking up your proceeds. Trust me. The profit you made from selling that penthouse is being sucked up by living in a hotel room day in, day out. She didn't buy herself something else for she and her son. I'm surprised they didn't have her buy an apartment in the building Lily and Billy are living in. Summer's old apartment, something, but no, she's still in a hotel room, which is not conducive for her son, right? So anyway, that's Chelsea. Chelsea is still a hot, hot mess. Then we have, so Billy shows up later at the end of the show in Chelsea's room after he and Victoria talk. And she's sitting there just holding that blanket on her couch, just fixated. She's a loose cannon. So she answers the door and he comes in. He goes, we need to talk. And there she is holding this blanket. I mean, he could have looked at that and said, see, and this is why we need to talk, right? And he told her, Victoria and I have decided, bottom line, Johnny's wishes are going to be honored. There's no trying to go around it. There's no trying to insinuate yourself, no gifts. No, he's not being mean, but he's just being very frank with Chelsea. We have to consider our son's feelings, and that's exactly what we are going to do. So Chelsea, of course, starts breaking. There she goes, breaking down. I mean, looking at her, just wait. You weren't supposed to have any kind of personal agenda in this when you presented this idea. Oh, no. Look, it's just I think now's a good a time. It's gonna come out. We don't want even to hear from anybody else. That's all. I mean, look, you and I need to be on this podcast together. We're a great team. Now, she don't want to be on a podcast with Billy right now, does she? She don't feel they make such a great team. And that's when she started fixating on Johnny when she was working around Billy. And then it was, oh, this could be a great family for me. That's what that was all about. That is exactly what that was all about. And that dream was just dashed. Well, you know what, Chelsea? I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you whatsoever. She needs help. Chelsea needs help. And she's been down this mental road before. She knows it. So it's up to her to get herself some help. But placing people's kids in her care, absolutely, positively not. Then we have Diane. Diane decides, all these late hours, no phone calls. They established that. Showing up, oh, she's just the gift bearer today, from this big old gift basket to Phyllis in the office, to this big old gift for, guess what, little Harrison. His favorite dump truck broke. And I wanted to reply. I saw this one, it looks identical, and I wanted to get it in his little hands right away. Oh, Jack, come on in, Diane, come on in. Well, Harrison is already going through his nighttime routine with his nanny. So I will make sure he gets it in the morning. I was just making myself a nightcap. Want one? So Diane comes on in, and she starts in on some kind of, he goes, look, you don't have to come by on pretenses of giving gifts to Harrison, because she goes, I really wanted to speak to you. And he goes, you don't have to come over with pretense to Harrison to speak to me. And so she's like, well, Jack, I just worked so hard. And he goes, but you know what? Today went very, very well. I mean, Phyllis is actually, I don't want to talk about Phyllis. He looks at her and I'm looking at her like, that's all you talk about is Phyllis. That's all you talk about to Jack. Every chance you get, Phyllis, 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 right? But I don't want to talk about Phyllis because Jack had something positive to say about Phyllis. She wouldn't hear that at all. So then she goes, I have just worked so hard. It's all of this. I'm getting such animosity from everyone. Will I ever get past this? No, because Jack says something about, I had a question, why did you get so upset when you heard that Nikki was going to LA? Is there something, Diane, that you have not told us about your time in LA? Is there something you need to tell us? Something you're afraid of being found? And then she goes off into this attachment. See, there you have it. One innuendo from Phyllis. And this is what now I thought we were past all these suspicions. And he goes, no, I'm just asking you a question. I have shown that I am willing to give you a clean slate. Well, it's just from everybody. I get animosity. He goes, Diane, you earned that animosity from what you did. You earned it. And if you didn't want it, you should have stayed in LA. And I was like, what? Jack Abbott? Jack said that? He's like, it's going to happen, the animosity. She's like, he's like, please, you did this. So she ends up kind of not trying to backtrack her way out of it. Well, I'm glad for you. You're right. You've given me a clean slate. And no, I couldn't stay in LA because Kyle is here, Harrison is here, and you're here, the people that I care about. And I thought, at the time Diane was in LA, where was Kyle? Kyle and Harrison and Summer were in Milan. That's where Marquetti was. All she wanted Jack to do was do an introduction to Kyle. Kyle wasn't living in Genoa City at all. And what if Marquetti wouldn't have wanted to sell? Kyle and Summer and Harrison will be back in Milan. Would you be in Genoa City now, Diane? Where would you be? So they're standing up and she's talking, you know what, you're right. And I'm so happy that, you have been accepting and you've been accommodating and you've been like a warm welcome, a friend. And she's on and on. And I'm thinking, okay, you getting eerily close as you're talking to him. I knew exactly what was going to happen. What was going to happen was that right there. That was going to happen. Good. She grabs his face and pulls him in. Now he didn't jerk away, but he let her kiss him. And I don't know if Jack kissed her back, but he let her kiss him. And when she was done, he's looking at her and he says, listen, I hope I did not, you're not misinterpreting my friendship. Because see, that's all it is, Donnie. It's my friendship. I'm trying to be a friend. We're grandparents to Harrison. And there is nothing more going on here. And if I misled you, I apologize for that. Or no, he didn't say misled. He said, if you misinterpreted my intentions, I apologize for that. But no, nothing romantic, right? So now she's like, oh, Oh, she was. What? I I misread the moment. And really, what moment did you misread? And she backtracks and she goes over to where her cup of nightcap was, holding it kind of shaking, and she puts it down and she mumbles her way. Well, look, let's do another reset. Let's do clean slates. We're talking about clean slates. Let's clean slate it like this never happened. Can we do that? And he's like, yeah, fine. And so she goes, and I'm gonna leave, and I understand your boundaries. I understand them, and okay. And I'm thinking, oh, so you won't be no more late night stories to Harrison where you tiptoe down the stairs, Diane, because you fell asleep reading your adorable grandson a story. No more of that. Yeah. So she hurries right on out of the Abbott house, and Jack is just looking like, ooh, see, am I creating a mess here? Wow. You know, so Diane goes back to the GCAC, the athletic club. She puts her key in the door. She walks in the door, and I tell you, almost falls flat on her face, stops dead in her tracks, right? She's like, how did you get in here? And that's the first time we see, I guess, Trevor St. John, who was ex Todd Manning, one of the ex Todd Mannings, the second Todd Manning, um, that ended up being a twin brother in the end, right? Because now the other ex Todd Manning is on General Hospital. He played Franco and now boring Austin. But anyway, uh, we get this. He's like, Diane, you know, we had an arrangement. And I thought we had an understanding. And I guess not. I guess I can't trust you. Or, in so many words. And her face is like, oh no, please don't blow up my spot. Oh no, oh no, oh no, whoa, don't, I can't come out, you know? So she's all worried. Look at terror on her face because what could the arrangement have been? What was the scheme of her coming back to Genoa City? Let's be real. This is going to be Tucker McCall, which is interesting to me because Tucker was from Genoa City. So whatever scheme it could be, it's against his family is there. I mean, his son is there. His mother's legacy is there. So I don't know what the scheme was going to be. Remember, Catherine didn't find out till much later. I think right around the time Devon was there, that Tucker was even her son, you know. And Tucker kind of had a thing, a little hate going on, as they normally do, you know, with parents you didn't know were your parents. And, then it came out. But that is going to be interesting. The screws are being put to Diane, and Phyllis and Nikki need to not, they need to let Diane self-implode. But we'll see what Nikki comes back with, because I did peek in on the Bold and the Beautiful, and oh my goodness, was that hard to watch. Ridiculous. Okay. Nikki goes to the Forester. She gets this hideous dress. I mean, they designed this thing for Summer, and I thought, Summer's in her early 20s. Why would she want to wear that piece of crap? Sally Spectre should have designed it. But, oh, anyway, just the conversation, and then me having to just suffer through the other scenes from what's happening in the storyline of the Bold and the Beautiful. Oh my God, I can't even get into it. So Nikki does meet Deacon at his restaurant where he works at, and he gives her this envelope. Now, Sheila Carter, I see Sheila has done better with a face mask, better with hiding herself. I guess at some point it got better, because the first time when she slapped on that wig and them glasses, you could see that was her. Now, with whatever she's doing with the prosthetics on her face, I don't even think she's wearing glasses. She actually looked pretty. I was like, well, okay. Now, I may not recognize that Sheila. I would think, you know what? Are you a relative of Sheila Carter? Because you kind of remind me of somebody I know, really, right? So she's busy spying on Deacon, giving Nikki this envelope because Deacon at their his little place apartment where he lives, he's telling her it's not working, she needs to go, and the whole 9 yards. But Nikki gets a glimpse at her. Now I don't know how much. Wait a minute. Sheila Carter was in Genoa City and did major damage to Lauren. Yes, Sheila is well known in Genoa City. So Nikki looked at her like, you look familiar. And she kind of puts the menu up, and Nikki walks past and she's looking at Nikki. And I'm thinking, well, hopefully Nikki gets safely back on the jet to Genoa City, because you know what, and which she will, because Nikki is not going to be on that show past that day. Thank God, because oh my God, if I have to peek in again on the Bold and Beautiful, oh my goodness. Anyway, now let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Ditos says there is something more to Audrey. I know, right? I think Jill knew something was up and is worried about how strong the company is going right now. I don't think she's even actually there to do really going to do a whole public thing. I'm wondering what Diane and Tucker's arrangement is. I'm thinking it might have to do with Jabot. Woo, that would be horrible if it is. Wow. Okay. And Ditos also says that Tessa and Mariah's wedding was a young person's party, and Diane did not have a problem crashing it, right? Crashing it. And then Robin says, I'm glad Jack let Diane know after she kissed him that I'm willing to give you another chance, but there's nothing romantic. Sorry if I misled you. No, actually said you misinterpreted my actions. Diane keeps getting texts from someone who acts like and it acts like her spot is blown. Well, it is blown, right? We just saw that at the end of the show today. I'm glad Jack is not falling for her. Her actions are now making Jack suspicious of her. He's wondering what's happening, what's going on with you. You know, good, Jack, because come on, Jack Abbott, we can't keep having him being just so drug along by his nose by women and just being hurt and just not being a Abbott man. Let's be a man, Jack. Yeah, come on now. And then LaShanta says, Jack shaking my head. Diane is scared. What did she do in LA? I know. Nick and Sally make me sick. I don't even want to think about Nick and Sally. Sally is a mess. Nick kept saying, let's leave. And she wanted to rub it in Adam's face. Yes, she did, that she was there with Nick, but she couldn't keep her eyes off of Adam and his table. Adam maybe can talk to Chelsea, kind of. She should leave town. And Vicky is low down. Victoria's always been about Victoria, but in this case, her spidey senses should be pretty tingly right now where Chelsea is concerned. And Billy too. Chelsea's not wrapped too tight. And her actions are proving it. And her emotions are showing it. She can't even be a valued addition in Johnny's life right now, because guess what? She's not a valued addition in Connor's life at all right now. Okay. So anyway, everybody, that is my daily recap for The Young and the Restless for Wednesday, September the 28th. I'll be back tomorrow. Let's see what Tucker McCall has in store for Diane Jenkins.